Applying for Medicaid Waivers or Home and Community-Based Services, HCBS Video 3. Each Medicaid Waiver or Home and Community-Based Services, HCBS program, requires a Medicaid application. There is not an application specifically for HCBS. Again, it is a Medicaid application that needs to be completed. If the student is already receiving Medicaid or Title XIX, the application can be done through the local income maintenance worker at a Department of Human Services or DHS office. To locate the one in your area, you can use the DHS office locator link found in the video description. If the student is not already on Medicaid or Title XIX, the application can be completed online or with a paper application. There are a couple of important areas to consider for eligibility for waiver services. First, students must be determined financially eligible for Medicaid. The student or child applying is seen separate or independent of their parents' finances when determining financial eligibility. The next consideration is the individual applying must have certain level of care requirements. Applicants will have to submit information and documentation related to their medical history or diagnosis. This is important. When completing the Medicaid application, you want to write or tell someone that the application is for HCBS services. Within the paper application, on page 17 of 27, the applicant or person helping complete the application will want to check the box, services to remain in your home, parentheses HCBS, PACE. The online application does not provide this option, so the desire to apply for waiver services should be communicated to the income maintenance worker once assigned. Because of the many variables throughout the state, if you have questions, you may want to reach out to one of these resources: the Iowa Department of Human Services or Income Maintenance Worker, your local area education agency or AEA, or your mental health disability services region. You can find local office information with the links in the video description. So what happens next? Once you have completed the Medicaid application, your application will be pre-screened by a DHS income maintenance worker to see if the student, now called a member, appears to be Medicaid eligible. If yes, then the income maintenance worker sends a request to Iowa Medicaid for a waiver slot if necessary. If a waiver slot is not available, the student or individual will be placed on a waiver interest list or waiting list. If a waiver slot is available, a level of care assessment will need to take place and be met. A financial review will then be completed to determine if the member is financially eligible for Medicaid. Once eligibility is determined, waiver services start after the student and their team come up with an individualized, person-centered service plan. Something to consider when determining which HCBS waiver or habilitation to apply for. If your child has a diagnosis that would qualify them for habilitation, in addition to a diagnosis that qualifies them for one of the 7 HCBS waivers, you may want to consider starting with habilitation. Habilitation does not have slots, which means there is no waiting list. If services need to start right away, it is possible to start with habilitation and then switch to a waiver program that may be closer to providing more of what is needed for your student or child when there is a slot available. You may even be able to access both habilitation services and a waiver. Talk with the care coordinator or case manager assigned to your child or student to see if this is an option for them. Check the video description for links to the Medicaid application, both the online or paper application, and additional resources to help you determine if waiver services are right for you.